So today, the message that I would like to give you about is going back to your roots. So yesterday, I went to a workshop, and it was a beautiful workshop, and it was in Mahbub Nagar district, and it took us 3 hours to reach there. And it was in very interior into the place, and it was almost, I don't know if I can even call it a village. It was so interior. And as we were traveling, it took us 3 hours, but it felt like ages that went by the time we reached there. And as I was traveling, the buildings started getting lesser, and the people started getting fewer, and the vehicles started becoming more lesser and lesser. And as we were entering into the village, the roads were started getting narrower. And you won't believe the workshop that was there. The main point of the whole workshop was to make us understand of our basics, the basic way we used to live, the food we used to take, the structures we used to build, and the clothes that we used to wear. It was completely different. And the structure where we were sitting, the house that we were sitting in, was almost 100 years old. That's what the teacher over there told us, that it is 100 years old. There were huge pillars of stone that we were sitting. And he even joked with us, saying that, see how fearlessly you're sitting under the huge pillars of stone, even though it was built 100 years back. And the main concept was for us to go back to our roots, the way God has made the nature, the way God has built us, the way we are supposed to live in the basic way. So, as he was explaining, he explained to us about the houses, the structures that we used to build at that time. We used to use mud, we used to use the soil that is available, we used to use the stones. And he also told us about a certain ingredients that we used to use in building of the structure to make it stronger. Like, for example, jaggery. Can you believe that jaggery was used in the mud to make it more easier to mold in place of clay? And certain interesting points were told to us. And the houses that were built then, the food that we used to consume then, were more conscious oriented. That we, along with our nature, should coexist. It was not only taking, but also giving. It was not only just using the resources, but also using it consciously. And he also told us an interesting point, that every place, every city has a different structure of house. Like, for example, if there is a very heavy rains and there's a lot of breezy wind in a certain place, the roofs come until the floor. It's down. They are cross. And if there is less rain and there is more heat and it's almost like a desert place and all that, the roofs are flat. Now you must be wondering, why am I giving you all this construction ideas and information? The point is, when I was listening to that, I also understood that not only the houses, not only the food, according to the place were designed by God, God has also designed us, our bodies, our minds, our lives in a very unique way. Now in this time, what we do is, we think one solution is for all the problems. For example, we take a Dolo for headache, leg pain, stomach ache, fever, everything and anything, we find Dolo. Similarly, we think that the solution which the person next to you has used in their lives, we also use it. And we forget that we need to understand that God has made us unique. We have our own purpose, we have our own uniqueness, and we need to solve our problems in our lives with the wisdom that God has given. The houses that were built long ago were built using the materials that were available in that place. They used to tweak it, they used to mold it in a way that they can use it to make it stronger, so that by using those materials that they had, not by getting something, by looking at that house, if he, in a breezy place, if he builds a flat house, it is going to fall. And in a hot place, you completely cover your house and stay inside, you're going to get humid. So they used to understand the way, the weather, the temperature, the soil, the resources, the materials that were available that time, and they used to build their houses. Now how more careful you need to be when you're building your life. How more wisdom do you need to use to build your own life? You cannot use the options, the solutions which the other person in their lives have used and think that why is it not working in my life? Why is it not happening in my life? I did the same thing what the person next to me has done. Why is it not working? That person studied for 1 hour and he passed with flying colors. Why am I not passing even if I studied for 1 hour? God has made you unique. God has made you different from each and every person who is on this earth. First and foremost, we need to understand that. The materials that were used back then were natural and non-toxic. They were not hampering our lives. But every solution that we use nowadays has side effects. You only think that, okay, at this point of time, this thing is resolved. I'm not worried about what happens to the next. I want in the moment solution. And we forget about the repercussions that are going to come later. At that point of time, I want to feel happy. I'm going to spend my entire money on that clothes. What happens later? The rent, the food you need to buy later. If there is any emergency, you need money, you're broke. Why is that? Why is that happening? Because we tend to see that the solution is, we use the solutions which are common all across. We stop using our knowledge. We stop thinking, is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Is it my strength? Is it my weakness? And you stop wondering about how you want to build your life, and you start using what the world tells you. The world gives a very common solution for each and every problem. And you stop realizing that you're made unique. You start thinking that you're a part of a group and you walk in the group. But today God is reminding you again that you are not made the same. Every person is different. Every creation is unique. And as and when you understand that, you will start looking at your life differently. You will start thinking about your life more seriously. You will understand what is your strength. You will understand what is your weakness. You will understand what works for you. You will understand what is not working for you, and you will build your life. The houses that were made then by using the materials, they said that it becomes stronger as the years go by. But today, the buildings that we build, are they becoming stronger or weaker as we go by? As the time passes, it starts getting weaker and weaker and weaker. But the materials that they were using back then were making the buildings more stronger and stronger and stronger. That is why you see a lot of monuments around that is still strong. A little repairs here and there, but the structure is strong. How are you building your life? Are you building a life that is going to stand the test of the time, or are you building a life that is going to be broken by every challenge that you're going to face? The structures that were back then, they passed all the tests. No matter rain, hail, storm, floods, earthquakes, they stood the test of the time because they used the right materials, the right resources suitable for that location, which is why they are still strong. What are you doing with your life? Are you using the quick fixes that are available right now and then and there? That is only going to be a temporary solution, and you will grow weaker and weaker later. What happens when you start getting weaker? Depression starts to kick in. Sadness starts to kick in. Comparison starts to kick in. You will not understand what is happening with your life anymore. You will not understand for what purpose you're working anymore. What is that you're doing with your life is very important. Understand the main core point that God has made you and unique. And for that, we need wisdom, right? You need wisdom, you need knowledge to understand what you need to do in your life. That wisdom, that knowledge can only and only be given by God. Only and only by God. You will understand that quick fixes are not going to help you anymore. That instant resolutions are not going to work anymore. I've used a quick fix for certain items in my house when it breaks. That instantly, it used to be so hard. I used to feel very happy. Okay, it's done. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. After a few months, it again cracked. That is how our life is going to be if you're going to use quick fixes. But if you're going to use the right knowledge, the wisdom, understand how God has made you, what are your strengths, your weakness, that your uniqueness, you will also start becoming stronger and stronger and stronger as you age, as you go forward, as you move forward in your life. Nothing is going to shake you or nothing is going to challenge you anymore, because you will have the right foundation. You will have the right knowledge of what is your strength and what is your weakness. You will still have a few repairs, but your foundation is intact. Nothing is going to shake you. Nothing is going to break you. For that, you need to understand that you're made unique. For that, you need to understand that you have to stop using those quick fixes. You need to get back to your roots. You need to get back to your basics. What is your basic? Who you are. Why are you made? What is your purpose? What is God's plan? You need to start taking time out from the busy lives so that you can understand what is happening with your life. Like I spoke last week, you need to focus, you need to get your attention to the Word of God. If you want to make that noise running in the background to the voice of God, you need to start focusing. Because the word is going on, but your focus is somewhere else, it will just remain as noise. But for the noise to become the voice, you need to start paying attention to your life. You need to start paying attention to how you're made and what is that you're made of and who has made you. These basics you need to understand to make or break your life.